Hello everyone, this is the third lesson for section 2.9. I put my dog outside so I wouldn't have any barking on this lesson. I just didn't want to redo it, so hopefully it's not too annoying. On this, I'm going to distribute the 1/3 and the 1/2 before I clear the fractions. Usually that makes more sense to students. So I'm going to take 1/3 times 3, which is just a 1x, minus 1/3, because we're just multiplying by -1. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times 4 is 2. Now I'm going to clear fractions. So I'm going to multiply by 6. That's the common denominator because 6 times 2, or 3 times 2 is 6. And then you just distribute the 6 for both terms on each side. So now I have 6x minus 2 is less than 3x plus 12. So I want my variables on the same side, so I'll subtract 3x. So I have a variable on the left. And then add 2. And we end up with 3x is less than 14. Now I'm going to go just over here and say 3x is less than 14. I'm going to divide by 3. And so my solution, or my solution set, is x is less than 14/3. So I'll write that up here, less than 14/3. And we're going to graph that using a parenthesis because it doesn't have the or equal to part. I have to put the 14/3. We don't need to change these two mixed numbers, keep them as improper fractions. And then I need a line showing that it's going in this direction. Even though the parentheses open that way, I still want you putting the lines on there. And then in interval notation, we're going to -infinity. 14/3 is the highest, the largest number we have in this solution set. Whoops, it's parenthesis, not a bracket. And that's the interval notation for this inequality. All right, so we're going to clear fractions on the right. This is really just a lot of practice of the same thing. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times -1x is -3x. And then we're going to add 3x on both sides. Now that's -4x plus 4 is greater than 12. Now we're going to subtract the 4. -4x is greater than 8. Divide by -4. Remember what happens when we divide by -4, then x is less than -2. The inequality switches because we divided by a negative number. So now I'm going to put this on the graph. I'm going to go ahead and write it up above here. That's the inequality. The graph of this is going to have parentheses going to the left because it's less than. And interval notation would be -infinity to -2. Something I want you to notice when you're writing infinities. Negative infinity will always be on the left and positive infinity will always be on the right because we have to always write our intervals in order from least to greatest. Oh, this one's kind of long, huh? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to distribute the 7. So 7x minus 14 plus x is less than or equal to -20. It's a -4 times a -1x, so that's plus 4x minus 12. I'm trying to write a little smaller so I don't run out of room. Now we're going to have like terms, right, on this side, so that's an 8x minus 14 is less than or equal to 4x. And now I'm going to combine -20 and -12, which is -32. And so we'll subtract the 4x on both sides and bring down what's left. Add the 14 on both sides. So 4x is less than or equal to, let's see, I don't even know what that is, -18, I believe. All right, and then divide by 4 to solve. So x is less than or equal to negative 9 halves. And so this is the less than or equal to sign. We're going to graph it with a bracket. We're going to the left again because it's less than. We didn't have to switch directions on this one because we didn't divide by a negative. So this is negative 9 halves. Remember, we have to identify our location on the graph. And in interval notation, this is negative infinity to negative 9 halves. Put the bracket, right, because it's or equal to. Also, it's going to be the same thing that you put on your graph. So I'm going to end this video and then finish on another one.